You wake up, but it doesn't feel like waking up. It feels more like surfacing from deep underwater, heavy and slow. You open your eyes, stare at the ceiling, and the thoughts arrive, before your feet even touch the ground. What's the point? Why bother? Why does it all feel so meaningless right now? You've slept, technically. You've eaten, technically. You've checked the boxes of being alive. But deep down, you don't feel alive. You feel stuck. You feel heavy. You feel lost, in the fog of something you can't quite name. People around you call it laziness. You call it failure. But neither is true. This is burnout. A quiet, cruel version of it that doesn't look like collapsing from overwork, but instead looks like collapsing inward. Slowly, silently, invisibly. It's not that you don't care. It's that caring became too painful somewhere along the way, and when something hurts, your brain protects you. That's its job. When you touched something hot as a child, your brain taught you not to do it again. When you faced rejection, disappointment, or humiliation as an adult, your brain did the same. Avoid, withdraw, disconnect. This is burnout at its core, not just physical fatigue, but emotional bankruptcy. You've given too much, for too long, with too little replenishment. And now, there's nothing left to give. You keep calling yourself a failure because you can't seem to push through. You beat yourself up because you can't find the motivation. You tell yourself you should be better, stronger, more capable. But let me offer you something radical. You are not failing. You are simply running on empty. Your exhaustion is not weakness. It's wisdom. Your mind and body are saying, I cannot go on like this. But instead of listening, you argue with yourself. You try to push harder. You guilt yourself into moving. You shame yourself for not snapping out of it. And every time you do, you reinforce the cycle. Because shame doesn't spark motivation. It sparks paralysis. When you believe you are broken, you don't get inspired. You shut down. Not because you're lazy, not because you don't want to change, but because your mind is protecting you from a world that has felt at times too much to bear. And here's what most people never tell you. Burnout doesn't come only from doing too much. Burnout comes from doing things that don't align with who you are. Doing things without support. Doing things out of fear, not love. Doing things while ignoring your emotional needs. Doing things while pretending you're okay. It's not the tasks that break you. It's the pretending. It's the pushing. It's the hiding. That's what exhausts you more than anything. You scroll online and see productivity tips. Wake up earlier. Make a better to-do list. Hack your dopamine. But those aren't solutions. At least, not for this. Because what you are facing isn't a scheduling problem. It's an emotional wound. You don't need hacks. You need healing. Healing from the pressure to perform. Healing from the constant self-criticism. Healing from the years spent ignoring your own needs. You don't need to become more productive right now. You need to become more compassionate to yourself. Burnout isn't cured by doing more. It's cured by doing less, with intention. Less self-blame, less avoidance, less numbing, more feeling, more honesty, more self-connection. So let's talk honestly now. What do you really need? Not what you think you should need. Not what others expect you to need. But what does the hurting, depleted part of you truly crave right now? Maybe it's rest. Real rest, without guilt. Maybe it's permission. Permission to not be okay. Maybe it's honesty. Honesty about how lost you feel. Maybe it's connection. A reminder that you're not alone in this. Because you aren't. You are not the only one who feels this way. Burnout is everywhere right now. Whispered in late-night texts, hidden behind forced smiles, buried under, I'm fine. You are not weird for feeling this. You are not lazy for feeling this. You are human for feeling this. But here's where things get stuck. Because even knowing all this, you will still hesitate to change. You will still resist resting. You will still shame yourself for slowing down. You will still crave productivity because it makes you feel worthy. That's okay. Undoing years of internalized pressure doesn't happen overnight. It happens slowly. Tiny shift after tiny shift. So, let's start tiny. Let's start today. Here's your challenge. Your task. Something simple, but powerful. I want you to pretend that you are your own therapist for the next 24 hours. Your only job? To notice your thoughts, your behaviors, your emotions, without judgment. When you catch yourself calling yourself lazy, pause. Replace the word with tired. Not lazy, tired. When you catch yourself criticizing your lack of productivity, pause. Replace the shame with curiosity. What am I avoiding because it feels too hard right now? When you catch yourself spiraling into guilt, pause. Replace the spiral with softness. I'm allowed to rest. I'm allowed to feel this way. That's it. Be your own safe space today, not your own judge, not your own critic, just a gentle observer. And when the day ends, come back here. Come to the comments and share what you noticed. Be honest, be raw, be human. Tell us, what did you learn about yourself? What surprised you? What part of yourself asked for kindness, and did you give it? This is your homework. Not for me. For you. Because healing starts with honesty. And sometimes, writing it down makes it real in a way thinking does not. Your comment might be what someone else needs to read to feel less alone tonight. So please, be brave. Be open. Be the first to say, yes, this is me too. Before we close, there's one more thing. If this resonated, if this feeling of quiet hopelessness feels familiar, then you need to watch our previous video. You don't procrastinate, you protect yourself. Because burnout and procrastination, they hold hands. Where burnout says, I can't, procrastination says, not now. Both are your mind trying to shield you. Both are born from fear, not failure. And understanding both, together, is how you start breaking free. So after this, go watch that. Let them connect in your mind. Let them guide you from shame to understanding. Because this isn't about fixing yourself. It's about finally meeting yourself, as you are, where you are. You're not failing. You're not broken. You're not done. You're burned out. You're tired. And you are still worthy of rest, of hope, and of better days ahead. Thank you for being here. I'll see you soon.